one of the big fan favorites here in China. And we'll see if they can continue that lead, continue that momentum as we go into Game 2. Before that, we are going to take a short look at that replay, and we can see kind of how the early game was shaped by ETW's successful team fighting, their playmaking, and then also their patience. But we're going to see in the late game, especially in that one fight, if we could just really, all we really need to do is to replay that last fight, and be able to tell you guys exactly what Valdez was saying.
So, you do see Ernst getting caught here in the beginning, and we're beginning to think, okay, Delta getting a good read on this, but as we were talking about before, you hit 6 on Koshka, you fight immediately, you catch them before they have reflex block. That's what they were able to do. So ETW gets a big lead, winning this fight.
Raichu went down, and then they just, like you said, they win this fight. Pikachu can't defend, he's getting burned down. And we're going to jump ahead now to 740, where we have another fight here, which is actually, at this moment in time, not a good fight for ETW. They lose Shifeng right away. It was a bit too aggressive. Dagio is going to get a good ult to help them escape.
I mean, there's a reason, to be honest, why we have only seen Adagio twice, both times by Ernst. I think he's living in like a past meta or something. Sky was not banned. Okay, Sky was not banned. Neither guy picks it. Raichu, okay, he's a Celeste mean. We've seen that, but you don't pick Adagio. You pick Celeste or Sky if they're both open. Even Scarf, Yeah,
and if you're not good enough to play Sky in this meta, then that's probably something you want to be working on, I'd say, at this moment in time. But, I want to give Ernst some credit because he is trying to, whether he's stuck in a meta or if he's trying to bring back a meta, he is an incredible Adagio player, and we saw him make some really good plays. It's just simply, as you mentioned before, the ability to counter that. That's the scariest and worst thing. So as we kind of jump through this slideshow here of this last part, we are going to start to see Delta take some fights.
Yeah.
As you can see, they're already building 2 Aegises at this moment in time. And now we're already at the end of the game here at 17:30. And like you said, very tough to take a fight when you're this countered. Look at how little damage Pikachu took, actually, from that Koshka ult.
Yeah. And with Adagio, you have to be so up in the front. It's so easy to get stunned out, to be pushed out of the fight. That consistent damage is not nearly going to be as easy to get off as Celeste, who has incredible range. I think it's 9 range with her Heliogenesis. Solar Storm, she could be across the map if she has good enough aim. And, you could just get a much better position as Celeste. We were talking about the items as well. Overall, I think ETW is going to have to majorly rethink their game plan coming into Game 2.
The meta for team fighting is about 2 things in particular right now, is locking targets down and blowing them up immediately. Not longer fights, but not with sustained fights, not with healing from Adagio, not with burn damage, not with hoping you stun everybody. All right, so we're going to see a Celeste ban here from ETW, which is very intelligent because that's been Raichu's main. He actually goes straight into a Jewel lock-in, though.
Yeah, that was like an auto-lock, too. He didn't waste any time with that one.
We're going to see Shifeng go for Jewel as well. We're going to see Scarf, and I don't know what happened there in the last second. So we have a little bit of a technical difficulty here for just a second, but Jewel, Scarf, and probably Arden, I would assume, but it wasn't locked in, I think.
We don't need to look at that. It's Arden, okay. Yeah. Interesting if they would have gone for Catherine. We saw IDEO trying that at the end, like Catherine, Jewel, Celeste, but of course with Celeste band as well, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. So. Well, it's interesting that Raichu is so willing to just go straight into Jewel.
He's got a backup for sure. I think we saw him play, I don't know if we saw him play Sky, but I think we saw him play Scarf one time.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if we've seen his Jewel. This is, of course, going to be a Jewel lane as well, weapon power, I would assume.
Did you see who, because it was so quick and we had that technical difficulty, I'm not sure who locked into Scarf. I don't know if it was Ernst or Shifeng. I think Shifeng went Jewel, so I think Scarf is going to lane with Ernst, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
So we're going to see Jewel in the jungle and a Jewel in the lane. We might see some lane swapping, role swapping. I call it lane swapping because that's like a term from another game, but swapping players from the jungle to the lane and vice versa, kind of a role swap, if you will. We could see a little bit of that with both of those heroes, obviously able to lane and jungle decently well.
Yeah, well, we are getting right back into those pick and ban phases here.
Yeah, Rona was actually banned again, so we're going to see if we have any changes. I actually see all the lock-ins right now. It's going to be Koshka and not Jewel. So something went wrong there, perhaps with the UI.
Yeah, maybe they misclicked or something. Give them a second chance. Maybe they'll get a warning. Not sure.
I mean, it could just be simply the UI had a problem as well. Because I'm not sure if that was even necessarily a straight-up screenshot from the game, although it looked like it was. Anyways, let's read off the compositions, you guys, because I know we talked about something that wasn't the case and might be confusing. We're going to have Raichu on Jewel in the lane. We're going to have Pikachu in the jungle on Koshka, and, of course, Arden on Hope as the roam. And for ETW, we're going to have Arden on roam again for Remix. Ernst is going to lane as Scarf, and we're going to have Shifeng playing Koshka as jungle, just like we saw before. So really similar comps, just with the ban on Celeste kind of changing the dynamic here, and we're not seeing Adagio again.
Yeah. Very excited for the weapon power Jewel in the lane. We've seen it a couple times, I think, in the jungle, but I think that was out of IDO. I think this time, like, I trust Raichu more than, I think it was maybe Shalwi in the jungle for IDO.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what they can pull off with this. Obviously, if they can land a yummy Catnip Frenzy, Koshka's ult, it's a very easy stun lock, especially just, you know, getting them into a gauntlet as well will be much easier.
Yeah. I love that Scarf sound effect. Wouldn't it be cool to be a dragon, man? All right, we're gonna see a big engagement here actually, and that was a huge B there that got off for Jewel. Doing a ton of damage. Like I have to just back off.
You know, if you were born in 1988, you would be a dragon because that's the year of the dragon.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And you know, those watching, you know, that's the Chinese zodiac. We're in the China Invitational.
Yeah, this is why it's so good to talk about
lining
this.
up. Yeah.
You are a horse, right?
That's right.
1990. I am a sheep from 1991.
No wonder you're so sheepish.
Yeah. What?
I only jest. You're more woolly, I guess. That's
Yeah,
more of your
I'm a
trait,
bit
yeah.
woolly. I can be woolly at times.
Every now and then you do kind of shed that off, make some money. So, things stumbled there for just a second. Hope is actually caught off guard here as the lag fades alone. And that's going to be an easy early kill for ETW. It gets picked up by Remix, though.
Yeah, Pikachu's just chilling here in the bush, looking for some damage onto Ernst. It's hard as Scarf. You have no boots. She is going to pick it up now, but if you have no boots, it's very hard to, dodge a rocket leap. You could just jump straight in there, and then Pikachu can essentially be all the damage. Who can also just jump straight in there with that Koshka.
Yeah.
So, Jewel is also one of those interesting picks in the lane where you can set up ganks very easily, especially with someone like Koshka or even Fortress from the jungle, someone who can jump right in and get their damage down.
Well, this, was just an early kill for ETW, and things are slowing down here. We did see a little bit of an aggressive invade, sort of roam in the jungle there around the gold mine location, but they weren't finding anything. They did place some scout traps. So notice they placed one on the gold mine. There's several traps on their side of the jungle as well as one here in the bush for Raichu. So Raichu is very well protected, and it's clear that he's waiting for a rocket jump opportunity. That's why they're waiting in the bush.
Gonna try to bait Scarf back here. I like what he did there. He actually tried to attack Scarf so that the minions would come back. He would aggro them, and so they would be closer to him, so they could obviously get a much better gank. But very smart by Ernst. He actually throws a Spitfire in the bush because he knows this possibility.
And so do his teammates, and they're actually poising around here to possibly collapse on them. And for every second that they don't, they can actually just kind of rotate around and grab these minions. Mining has begun. And we'll see just ETW rotate back to their jungle. It's a very even game here so far, though. The massive advantages for either team. Scarf, again, somewhat vulnerable, but he's playing very safe. You can't see it physically on the screen, but you can see on the minimap how he's positioned himself.
He's sitting on his turret, man. That's the way you gotta play. Don't be a godfather in game number 2 of today. Don't try to dive in and get a couple of CS. There's no reason to do that. Giving yourself up is going to be much more of a deficit to your team. Just sit back, be safe. Your Scarf, you have one of the longest range A's in the game at this level, and just use it to your advantage.
Yeah. Now, Scarf has nearly 1,300 gold. He's going to go back soon and buy, no doubt. Already saw Raichu do that.
Wonder if he will pick up that Frostburn. Wouldn't be a bad idea, you know, slow down that Casca from afar, as well as the Duel, who wants to be on top of you, getting those Thunder Strikes.
Now, Jifeng is level 6, and that means that there's obviously the potential for a gank. Actually was looking for it, but is deciding to just rotate down and take the jungle farm instead.
Shifeng is so good at that, by the way. Like, they always give him room to hit 6 so fast. Just by himself, you know, clears the jungle very, very fast, and gets it before the Koshka on the enemy team almost every single time.
Yeah, it happened just last game.
Happened again here.
Ernst's playing very careful. Very, very well positioned here. If Koshka had actually been there when they tried to jump on him, that could have been a turnaround really fast. Ooh, bit of a miss there from Raichu. It's going to cost him. I think the ban on Celeste is so intelligent for ETW. I think Raichu's, again, I've said it before, I think he's the best Celeste in China. And he's definitely, I mean, he's not looking bad on Jewel, but he's not looking as comfortable. You can see it.
Yeah.
Missing again.
I'd agree. I mean, at the same time, we have to wait and see how he's going to do a little bit later on in these fights. But yeah, so far his laning hasn't entirely impressed compared to his Celeste, for sure.
Yeah, he even used a rocket leap there to escape, and that was kind of painful actually to watch because he was totally safe, and that, you know, just takes away so much pressure. When you're Ernst and you see that, you're like, oh, I'm fine. I can actually poke you and I can pressure you a lot more because there's no threat that you're going to jump on me and stun me. And now he's just sitting in the lane, getting so much extra CS. Raichu is ahead currently in CS.
Yeah, but if you look at the opposite side, if you look at Shifeng, we'll hold that thought.
We're going to see a big fight here. Double stuns going down on both sides. A huge big red button actually hitting a lot of Shifeng's hit points away, and a great rocket jump here. Ernst getting very low. Down he goes. It's that weapon power Jewel.
Talking about good rocket leap, she got that right in there. No reflex block, of course, and able to take a really good fight early on. And in the last game, actually, Delta got behind early and then came back with a better composition and better just item builds as well. But this time, going to get off to a very big lead.
They also have already you know, when you think about the late game, they have a team comp that allows them to have both crystal damage and weapon damage, whereas again, for ETW, they're kind of pigeonholed themselves into crystal damage, so if they get the lead, they can actually build more shield and kind of counter that to a certain extent. I
mean, look at Team Delta right now. They're already like half the bars of all of them are yellow because they're buying so much shield. You can see, obviously, Raichu's looking towards an Aegis a little bit later on. We already have Kinetic Shield, Light Shield, and Life Spring picked up by Pikachu. A Life Spring and a Light Shield picked up by Hope. So that's going to be another double Fountain of Renewal composition. They seem to build very similarly when they're facing this kind of composition. Worked out for them last time, and now that they themselves have a mix-up with their damage, it's going to make it very interesting. And I'm definitely favoring Delta here, for sure.
Yeah. Well, we did see a few clears on those scout traps, but we're seeing Delta do the same thing that ETW did last game with their scout traps with their lead. Jifeng taking a ton of damage here, by the way, and gets stunned as well. Scarf's going to try to use this ult defensively to push them back. Jifeng goes down first. They need that Fountain of Renewal, and there it is. Pikachu staying alive, and Remix is now in trouble. He's trying to get back here. Rocket jump not up for 5 more seconds. Oh, nice dodge there. Great jump there onto Ernst to not only shield him, but also to help escape. Just going to be 1 kill, it looks like here, no more. But still, they have control of the gold mine. And they're also going to be able to kind of push down this lane a little bit. Ooh, risky business there. That Arden punch.
That timing, though, on the Fountain of Renewal by Pikachu, I think he just picked it up right before that fight went down. So that was the reason he stayed alive, and they were able to actually just rout them. They only got 1 kill, but it was a definite win. You can even see it in terms of gold. And just in terms of position, they're buying so much more time for their gold mine. They got a bit of chip damage on the turret. We're able to, push them all the way back there behind the turret. And now if you look at the items, it gets even scarier for ETW because double Fountain of Renewal. Well, actually, not just yet.
Well, hold that thought. They're actually going to try to take the gold mine back in an insanely risky position. Ernst gets jumped on with the rocket jump. He gets burst down in seconds. They're not getting that gold mine, not even close, and they're going to have to retreat. We do see another stun here. They might actually lose Shifeng, getting very, very low. And Raichu, one more auto will do it. Actually going to catch him with the B instead. Hope probably going to want to get out of there, aggroing the turret quite significantly. But with 2 deaths here, they might be able to push this turret health down just a little bit more. And while Raichu does this, we see Koshka is going to go ahead and take all that jungle farm away, just furthering their gold lead. Now taking about a 3,200 gold lead at 10.5 minutes.
The other hero I really like to play besides Celeste is actually Weapon Power Jewel in the jungle. I play it in lane sometimes as well, but it's incredibly strong if you don't have anyone to interrupt your build. If you can get out 2-3 items, you're going to be chunking people. And as we said before, they've got Weapon Power Jewel, Red Jewel, and, of course, the Koshka for the Crystal Power. So you could already see on the side of ETW, they're struggling with itemizing against Raichu. None of them have armor. Like, none of them.
Yeah.
They have double Fountain of Renewal, which of course give them sustain regardless of which damage they're taking, but they're building mostly against Pikachu.
Uh-oh, big stuns here on Remix and on Shifeng. And Shifeng is going to take a ton of damage here. Another gauntlet goes down. Big red button actually pushes him into a good position, does a lot of damage to Remix. Somehow, some way, Shifeng escapes death and will actually go to the bottom. But a huge Koshka going down here onto Remix. Ernst finally dies here as the crowd goes wild. Remix barely surviving with probably 20 health or so. And that is going to be, again, another win in the fight. I think jumping on Remix might be a bit risky. I think they're trying to bait that. And Shifeng is doing a ton of damage. Could they turn this around? Oh, this is so intense. The shield goes down to save him. And a big stun here as well. The rocket jump comes down to Shifeng, and they do take him out. Hope in a tough spot, though, will be killed here by the turret, and Remix will escape.
Yeah, that was a bit foolish, actually, from Shifeng. That's like the first mistake I think I've seen him make all tournament. But you do not want to use your ultimate as Koshka when there's a jewel there. With the jump, it makes you immobile, and you get stunned immediately. So, kind of a mistake. They're giving up another free kill. They're able to get the turret. Hope is kind of funny, going Arden on Arden action behind the turrets, but not able to get that there. But yeah, we're beginning to see very early domination in this game turn into kind of Delta even running away with this game at this point.
It's really scary for CNL, I feel, watching Delta here, because you can just see obviously how proficient Raichu is even at a hero he hasn't even shown us really that much in this tournament, or he's been doing almost purely Celeste. Celeste gets banned and he just like insta-locks Jewel and plays incredibly well. It's like, oh, I guess he's not just all about the Celeste.
You can't really ban out Raichu then. I mean, I suppose you can ban out the Celeste. I would say it's like slightly better than his Jewel, but still, it's not the greatest ban.
That was a really scary way of approaching that ETW went for. They could have been easily gauntleted. Speak of the devil, there goes the gauntlet down, and caught is Remix. A big wasted Scarf ult here. He has to use it defensively. Delta just disengages, and they're just going to be able to set up another fight here at the jungle. In fact, just going to go and buy. The gold mine is a long way away from activating, so there's a lot of time for ETW to figure out how to fix that problem, but Delta is just controlling the game. 7,000 gold nearly ahead, or actually just about 6,000.
Yeah, I definitely say that CNL is going to be a bit scared watching these games for sure. We were talking about this matchup actually. I was thinking ETW would do a bit better, but Delta has an unbelievably strong understanding of this game, and I'm really impressed.
Oh boy, Pikachu jumping in here, and already Shifeng taking a ton of damage. He does try to survive with Reflex Block, but it's not going to be enough. And just another kill. I don't think they're going to push it too far here. Maybe I spoke too soon. Under 2 turrets here, I think this might be a bit of an overextension. Hope, yet again, will be the one who goes down from that overextension.
Yeah, just a bit, a little bit too overzealous there. Don't want to be giving too many free kills away. GW is still a pretty good team. And either way, I mean, you see Terrence Monocle now picked up by Raichu, who's going to be critting like mad with his overdriven B. And still, No armor, nothing built on the side of ETW. They're totally foregoing that. They're saying, okay, we need to deal with Big Red Button, I suppose, as well as Pikachu. He does a lot of damage with Broken Myth, but I think it's just a failure to recognize who's really doing the damage on the side of Delta.
Yeah. And Raichu's autos are out of control, damage as well, and I do worry for some of these later fights because this is starting to snowball a little bit, even with the overextensions. Kraken has spawned, and this means that there's an additional, even boosted gold pool here to Delta. Kraken got really mad about that scout trap, but it's okay.
It's okay, Kraken, calm down.
All right, we're seeing a funny angle here, so I couldn't really see what was going on. Okay. All right, Raichu's going to come forward here, and just go for the rocket jump on Ernst. Good Crucible, that reflex block on a stop. Ernst is still going to get bursted down, though. Look at how much damage Raichu's able to do. He does save, he does get saved there by Pikachu. Or, excuse me, by Xifeng, but Xifeng goes down and Ernst goes down afterwards. And it looks like they're just going to be able to get a turret from this.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the dual play here. He's forcing out so many reflex blocks with his rocket leaps. He makes it so that you have to use it, because if you don't, you're going to get locked down anyway. But if you do, then a gauntlet's coming your way. Koshka's going to be able to get a free ult onto you, and those are both like very easy to land.
Yeah.
You know, of course, Koshka is targeted, so. Because Raichu is so accurate with his rocket leaps, and he's identifying these situations where he can take advantage of Ernst's bad positioning, he's winning these team fights for his team. He's engaging so well.
He even used his boots, actually, to go for that last one, which I thought was really cool. Just really having great knowledge of that opportunity. And, okay, we're going to see another fight set up here, and I think this is, you know, Remix coming in to check to see if they're going for the Kraken. When in reality they were not, but I think they were scared about that possibility.
Nice bait by Remix to try to get that rocket leap out there, knowing he had the jump with his A.
Which he has overdriven, so I mean it's very, very low on cooldown. Still gonna lose position here, even still, and this Kraken will be Delta's very shortly.
Look at how much this chunks.
Oh my god,
yeah. Look at the chunking. It's unbelievable.
535.
Yeah. Duel's another one of those heroes that is very good at dealing with single target opponents with the B and critting and stuff.
Well, we do see Scarf goes back and buys, but the Kraken is going to push with this.
Let's see how aggressive Delta gets here. They nearly could, I think they could win the game off of this as long as they don't make too many mistakes. Like if they jump in and someone dies, I think they're realizing that now. They're just waiting. Very, very smart by Delta.
They're just going to wait for the rocket jump, and then they're going to follow up with a gauntlet after the first reflex block is used. That's the play. That's the plan here. Also waiting for Kraken, I guess, if they don't come out.
Yeah.
Because if they don't come out to get Kraken, then the Kraken gets here all the way for free, only starts taking damage once it's basically on top of these turrets. Okay, here we go. Raichu up in the front in the fray. We do see a nice stun here on Raichu to eliminate a lot of that damage, but here comes the gauntlet. First turret is already gone. Xifeng is taking a ton of damage and looks like might fall here. Does have to run away and escape. And all this while Ernst is sitting in the healing fountain, and they're just going to burst down the Vein Crystal. And that is going to be a 2-0 victory here for Delta. They will advance out of the loser bracket, or rather out of the